PHSNC Competency-Based Staff Training. Health, safety, emergency response, critical incidents, risk reduction, and workplace violence prevention. Fila Health Systems of NC, helping you live your dreams every day. Welcome to Fila Health Systems of NC, also known as PHSNC. This competency-based training is designed to help all staff understand and apply the health, safety, emergency response, critical incident reporting, risk reduction, and workplace violence prevention expectations required while working with PHSNC clients, families, visitors, staff, and community partners. PHSNC is committed to providing person-centered, compassionate, clinically sound, and safe behavioral health services. Our work is grounded in dignity, consistency, accountability, and the belief that every individual deserves support that helps them move toward stability, recovery, independence, and a meaningful quality of life. This training supports our commitment to helping you live your dreams every day. Training purpose: to ensure all PHSNC staff can competently identify hazards, respond to emergencies, report incidents, reduce risks, and help maintain a safe and trauma-informed environment. This training is designed for onboarding, annual review, corrective action, and refresher training. Staff should complete the full training, participate in knowledge checks, review scenarios, and complete the final competency assessment. Learning objectives. By the end of this training, staff should be able to apply basic health and safety practices, identify unsafe environmental factors, respond appropriately to emergencies, follow evacuation procedures, identify critical incidents, report incidents correctly, reduce physical risks, recognize workplace violence warning signs, and demonstrate competency through real-world scenarios.
PHSNC mission, safety culture, and emergency contacts. Before reviewing the training modules, all staff must know the appropriate PHSNC leadership contacts for safety concerns, emergency notifications, critical incidents, evacuation concerns, workplace violence concerns, clinical concerns, and any situation requiring supervisor, administrative, or clinical notification. PHSNC leadership and emergency contact information. Primary administrative contact: CEO David Lyde, cell 704-450-0215, office 796-042, email david.lyde@phsnc.org. Secondary administrative contacts: COO Brian Cook, cell 704-20322, office 704-960-420, email brian.cook@phsnc.org. CFO Omar Long, cell 440-931, office 704-960-428, email omar.long@phsnc.org. Clinical contact: Clinical Director Amy Brown, cell 336-439-9117, office 704-280, amy.brown@phsnc.org. In any immediate emergency involving danger, serious injury, medical crisis, fire, weapon, violence, threat to life, or inability to maintain safety, staff must call 911 first. After calling 911 and moving to safety, staff must notify the appropriate PHSNC leadership contact as soon as it is safe to do so. Emergency rule: call 911 first during immediate emergencies, then notify PHSNC leadership as soon as it is safe.
Module 1, Health and Safety Practices. In Module 1, we will review the basic health and safety practices that every PHSNC staff member is expected to follow. These practices apply in the office, during group services, during community-based services, during administrative work, and during any work-related interaction. Learning objective: staff will demonstrate the ability to maintain safe daily operations in both facility-based and community-based service settings. PHSNC staff are responsible for helping maintain a safe treatment and work environment. This includes the physical space, client interactions, staff conduct, infection prevention, documentation practices, and emergency readiness. Staff must keep walkways, exits, offices, bathrooms, group rooms, and waiting areas free of clutter. Report spills, broken furniture, exposed cords, unsafe flooring, damaged equipment, or blocked exits immediately. Maintain professional boundaries. Avoid escalating conflicts. Use universal precautions when exposed to blood, bodily fluids, or potentially infectious materials. Wash hands regularly and use hand sanitizer when appropriate. Avoid leaving clients unsupervised in areas where safety risk exists. Staff must ensure clients maintain possession of their own prescription and over-the-counter medications while in the PHSNC facility. PHSNC staff will not store, hold, secure, or keep client medications unless a specific written policy authorizes otherwise. Protect confidential records and prevent unauthorized access to client information. Know the location of fire exits, first aid supplies, emergency contact information, and posted evacuation routes. Notify appropriate leadership immediately when a safety concern may affect clients, staff, visitors, or operations. A safe environment is not only about preventing physical harm, it is also about creating an atmosphere where clients, families, staff, and visitors feel respected, protected, and supported. Staff should avoid behavior that increases fear, shame, conflict, or confusion. PHSNC Safety Standard. Safety includes physical safety, emotional safety, professional boundaries, confidentiality, infection prevention, and timely reporting. Staff should remember that clients are responsible for maintaining possession of their own prescription and over-the-counter medications while inside the PHSNC facility. PHSN staff should not store, hold, secure, or keep medications for clients unless a specific written policy authorizes otherwise.
Knowledge Check 1. Health and Safety Practices. Pause and review the following questions. Staff should be able to answer these before moving forward. Question 1. What should you do if you notice a blocked exit? Question 2. Are PHSNC staff allowed to hold or store client medications? Question 3. What should staff do if a client reports feeling unsafe? Question 4. When should staff call 911? Question 5. Who should staff contact for urgent administrative notification? Now, review the answers. Answer 1. Clear the exit if safe, notify leadership, and document and report as required. Answer 2. No. Clients maintain possession of their own medications unless a written policy says otherwise. Answer 3. Ensure immediate safety, notify appropriate leadership, document, and escalate as needed. Answer 4. Call 911 first when there is immediate danger, serious injury, fire, weapon, violence, medical crisis, or threat to life. Answer 5. CEO David Lyde first, if unavailable, COO Brian Cook or CFO Omar Long. Break 1. Take a short break. When you return, the next module will review unsafe environmental factors and required staff response. Module 2. Identification of unsafe environmental factors. In Module 2, staff will learn how to identify unsafe environmental factors and take corrective action or report concerns promptly. An unsafe environmental factor is any condition, behavior, or situation that may create harm, injury, fear, disruption, or risk. Learning objective. Staff will identify unsafe environmental factors and take corrective action or report concerns promptly. Unsafe environmental factors may occur inside a PHSNC facility, during a community-based service, during a home visit, during transportation-related situations, or during interactions with clients, visitors, families, or staff. Facility-based risks may include blocked exits or hallways, wet floors or tripping hazards, broken furniture or equipment, poor lighting, unsecured sharp objects, exposed electrical cords, overcrowded group rooms, aggressive or disruptive behavior, unsecured confidential records, unclean bathrooms or common spaces, fire hazards, unsafe parking lot conditions, clients or visitors entering restricted areas, weapons or suspected weapons on site, drugs, alcohol, medication, or contraband brought into the facility. Community-based work carries additional risks because staff may enter homes, public settings, neighborhoods, or other environments that PHSNC does not control. Community-based risks may include unsafe home environment, domestic violence concerns, weapons visible or suspected, intoxicated or aggressive individuals, unsafe neighborhood or location, poor lighting or lack of exit access, animals not secured, exposed wiring, smoke, pests, extreme heat or structural instability, client or family conflict escalating during service, staff being isolated without communication access, any situation where staff do not feel safe entering or remaining. When an unsafe environmental factor is identified, staff must assess whether there is immediate danger. If danger is immediate, staff should move away from the hazard, call 911 if needed, and notify PHSNC leadership as soon as it is safe. Require response. Assess whether there is immediate danger. Move yourself and others away from danger when possible. Correct the hazard if it can be done safely. Notify a supervisor, administrator, clinical contact, or leadership contact. Call 911 if there is immediate risk to life, safety, or property. Document the concern according to PHSNC policy. Complete incident reporting if required. Follow up to ensure corrective action is taken. For urgent administrative notification, staff should contact CEO David Lyde first. If he is unavailable, contact COO Brian Cook or CFO Omar Long. For clinical concerns or client-related behavioral health issues, contact Clinical Director Amy Brown.
Module 3, Emergency Procedures. In Module 3, staff will review how to respond to emergencies involving medical, behavioral, environmental, criminal, or safety threats. Staff will respond appropriately to emergencies involving medical, behavioral, environmental, criminal, or safety threats. Emergencies may involve clients, staff, visitors, family members, community members, property, or the facility environment. Staff must respond calmly, prioritize immediate safety, and call 911 when emergency response is required. Types of emergencies may include medical emergencies, behavioral health crises, substance use emergencies or suspected overdose, fire or smoke, severe weather, power outage or facility disruption, threats of violence, weapons on site, missing client or elopement from a supervised setting, client injury or fall, staff injury, law enforcement involvement, death or serious injury, natural disaster or evacuation event, domestic violence or family conflict entering the service environment. Staff should follow a consistent emergency response sequence. The first priority is always safety. General emergency response steps: remain calm. Ensure immediate safety. Call 911 when there is immediate danger, medical emergency, fire, weapon, violence, or threat to life. Move clients, visitors, and staff away from danger when possible. Notify a supervisor, administrator, clinical contact, or leadership contact. Provide support within the limits of staff training. Do not place yourself in danger. Preserve the scene when required. Document objectively. Complete internal and external reporting as required. For medical emergencies, staff must call 911 immediately. Staff should stay with the person if it is safe. Avoid moving the person unless there is immediate danger, and provide CPR or first aid only if trained and able to do so safely. Medical emergency response. Call 911 immediately. Stay with the person if safe. Do not move the person unless there is immediate danger. Provide first aid or CPR only if trained. Keep others away from the area. Notify PHSNC leadership after emergency services have been contacted. Notify the clinical director when clinical follow-up is needed. Document what was observed, what actions were taken, and who was contacted. For behavioral health escalation, staff should use a calm voice, maintain safe distance, avoid arguing or shaming, reduce stimulation when possible, offer choices when appropriate, remove other clients or visitors from the area if needed, and request supervisor, administrator, and clinical support as needed. Behavioral crisis response. Use a calm voice. Maintain safe distance. Avoid arguing, threatening, crowding, or shaming. Reduce stimulation when possible. Offer choices when appropriate. Remove others from the area if needed. Request supervisor, administrator, and clinical support. Contact mobile crisis, emergency services, or law enforcement when safety cannot be maintained. Notify Clinical Director Amy Brown for suicide risk, self-harm risk, severe behavioral escalation, clinical instability, abuse and neglect concerns, or treatment-related safety concerns.
Knowledge Check 2. Unsafe conditions and emergency response. Pause and review the following questions. Question 1. What is the first priority during an emergency? Question 2. What should staff do if there is immediate danger or a weapon present? Question 3. Who should staff contact for behavioral health escalation or suicide risk? Question 4. What should staff do during a medical emergency? Question 5. Should staff enter a community-based setting if they feel unsafe? Now, review the answers. Answer 1. Immediate safety. Answer 2. Move away if possible. Call 911, then notify PHSNC leadership when safe. Answer 3. Clinical Director Amy Brown. Answer 4. Call 911 immediately. Stay with the person if safe. Provide first aid only if trained. Notify leadership and document. Answer 5. No. Staff should not enter or remain in unsafe environments. Break 2. Take a short break. When you return, the next modules will review evacuation procedures and critical incident identification.
Module 4, Evacuation Procedures. In Module 4, staff will review when evacuation may be required and what staff must do to safely guide clients, visitors, and staff away from danger. Evacuation may be required during fire or smoke, gas leak, structural damage, bomb threat, severe weather damage, utility failure creating unsafe conditions, active threat or violence, chemical exposure, emergency responder or law enforcement directive, any condition where remaining in the building creates a safety risk. Staff must know posted evacuation routes, the designated meeting location, and how to account for clients, visitors, and staff after evacuation. Evacuation expectations. Know the posted evacuation routes. Know the designated meeting location. Assist clients and visitors in leaving calmly. Avoid elevators during fire or structural risk. Close doors behind you when safe. Take sign-in sheets or attendance lists only if immediately available and safe. Account for clients, visitors, and staff at the meeting location. Notify emergency responders if anyone is missing or unable to evacuate. Call 911 when emergency responders are needed. Notify PHSNC leadership as soon as it is safe. Do not re-enter until cleared by emergency responders or leadership. Direct care staff should guide clients to the nearest safe exit, maintain calm communication, prevent clients from returning for belongings, and report missing or injured individuals. Administrative staff should assist visitors, secure sign-in information if safe, and support accountability at the meeting location. Supervisors and leadership should coordinate emergency communication, communicate with emergency responders, confirm accountability, and coordinate documentation and incident review.
Module 5, Identification of Critical Incidents. In Module 5, staff will learn how to recognize potential critical incidents. A critical incident is an event outside routine service delivery or routine care that may result in harm, risk, serious disruption, regulatory concern, legal concern, or adverse effects for a client, staff member, visitor, or the organization. Critical incident definition: an event outside routine service delivery that may result in harm, risk, serious disruption, regulatory concern, legal concern, or adverse effects. Critical incidents may involve actual harm, potential harm, threat of harm, emergency response, law enforcement involvement, injury, abuse or neglect allegations, serious behavioral escalation, workplace violence, or situations requiring external reporting. Potential critical incidents may include death of a client, serious injury, medical emergency requiring emergency treatment, suicide attempt, serious self-harm, threat of suicide with imminent risk, physical assault, sexual assault or allegation of sexual misconduct, abuse, neglect, or exploitation, medication error when applicable, missing person or elopement from a supervised service setting, law enforcement involvement, weapons possession or use, fire, property damage, or unsafe facility condition, serious behavioral escalation, suspected overdose, client arrest during service involvement, workplace violence or credible threat, client-on-client assault, staff-on-client allegation, any incident likely to result in media, legal, regulatory, MCO, DSS, court, or law enforcement involvement. Staff should not try to determine alone whether an incident is reportable. When in doubt, ensure safety, notify leadership, and document objectively.
Knowledge Check 3, Evacuation and Critical Incidents. Pause and review the following questions. Question 1. When should staff re-enter a building after evacuation? Question 2. What should staff do if someone is missing after evacuation? Question 3. What is a critical incident? Question 4. Should staff report suspected critical incidents even if they are unsure? Question 5. Name 3 examples of potential critical incidents. Now review the answers. Answer 1. Only after emergency responders or leadership clear re-entry. Answer 2. Notify emergency responders and leadership immediately. Answer 3. An event outside routine care that may create harm, risk, disruption, legal concern, regulatory concern, or adverse effect. Answer 4. Yes, staff should report concerns promptly and allow leadership to review. Answer 5. Examples include serious injury, suicide attempt, assault, suspected overdose, weapon possession, law enforcement involvement, abuse and neglect allegation, or workplace violence. Break 3. Take a short break. When you return, the next modules will review reporting critical incidents and reducing physical risks.
Module 6, Reporting Critical Incidents. In Module 6, staff will review how to report incidents promptly, accurately, objectively, and through the proper chain of command. Learning objective. Staff will demonstrate the ability to report incidents promptly, accurately, objectively, and through the proper chain of command. When a critical incident occurs or is suspected, staff must first ensure immediate safety. If there is immediate danger, serious injury, medical emergency, violence, weapon, fire, or threat to life, staff must call 911. PHSNC Internal Reporting Procedure. Ensure immediate safety. Call 911 if there is immediate danger, serious injury, medical emergency, violence, weapon, fire, or life-threatening situation. Notify the immediate supervisor, administrator, clinical contact, or designated PHSNC leadership contact as soon as possible. Contact CEO David Lyde first for urgent administrative notification. If the CEO is unavailable, contact COO Brian Cook or CFO Omar Long. Contact Clinical Director Amy Brown for clinical emergencies, behavioral health escalation, suicide risk, self-harm risk, abuse and neglect concerns, treatment-related issues, or clinical decision support. Complete required internal incident documentation. Use factual objective information. Avoid speculation, blame, exaggeration, or unsupported conclusions. Cooperate with supervisory review, root cause review, or corrective action. Follow additional reporting instructions from leadership. Maintain confidentiality and share information only with those who need to know. Incident documentation must be objective. Staff should write what they observed, what was reported, what action was taken, who was notified, and what follow-up is needed. Staff should not include personal opinions, blame, unsupported diagnoses, emotional language, assumptions about intent, unverified information, or judgmental statements. Incident reports should include date and time, location, individuals involved, witnesses, objective description of what occurred, immediate actions taken, notifications made, emergency services involvement, injuries or safety concerns, clinical concerns observed or reported, follow-up actions needed, preventive steps recommended, staff signature and date. Here's an example of language that is not acceptable in an incident report. The client went crazy and attacked everyone for no reason. Here is an example of acceptable, objective language. Client raised their voice, threw a chair toward the wall, and moved toward another client with a closed fist. Staff directed other clients to leave the group room, maintained distance, attempted verbal de-escalation, notified the supervisor, contacted the clinical director for clinical guidance, and contacted 911 due to immediate safety risk.
Module 7, Reducing Physical Risks. In Module 7, staff will review strategies to reduce physical risks during service delivery in the facility, in the community, and during client escalation. Risk reduction in the facility. Keep exits clear. Arrange furniture to allow safe movement. Avoid sitting where exit access is blocked. Keep sharp objects, cleaning supplies, and confidential materials secured. Avoid overcrowding rooms. Monitor client behavior and environmental changes. Address spills and hazards immediately. Maintain visibility in common areas. Follow visitor procedures. Report malfunctioning equipment or facility concerns. Ensure clients do not access restricted staff areas. Ensure clients retain possession of their own medications. Avoid leaving clients unattended in unsafe situations. Maintain professional boundaries and calm communication. During community-based services, staff must be aware of surroundings, maintain communication access, and leave if safety is uncertain. Risk reduction during community-based services. Inform a supervisor, administrator, or team member of community visit schedules. Carry a charged phone. Park in a way that allows safe exit. Avoid entering unsafe environments. Leave immediately if weapons, violence, intoxication, or serious threats are present. Avoid transporting clients unless authorized by policy. Maintain professional boundaries. Meet in public or neutral locations when appropriate. Use telehealth or facility-based options when community risk is too high. Document safety concerns and communicate them to leadership. Contact administrative or clinical leadership when safety concerns require escalation. During client escalation, staff should maintain distance, keep access to an exit, avoid touching the client, use brief, calm statements, remove unnecessary audiences, call for help early, and end the session if safety cannot be maintained.
Knowledge Check 4, Reporting and Risk Reduction. Pause and review the following questions. Question 1. What type of language should be used in incident reports? Question 2. Who should be contacted first for urgent administrative notification? Question 3. Who should be contacted if the CEO is unavailable? Question 4. Who should be contacted for clinical crisis support? Question 5. What should staff do if a community visit location appears unsafe? Now review the answers. Answer 1. Objective, factual language. Answer 2. David lied. 3. COO Brian Cook or CFO Omar Long. Answer 4. Clinical Director Amy Brown. Answer 5. Do not enter or remain in the unsafe setting. Leave if safe, contact leadership, call 911 if there is immediate danger, and document the concern. Break 4. Take a short break. When you return, the next module will review workplace violence prevention and response.
Module 8, Workplace Violence Prevention and Response. In Module 8, staff will learn how to recognize warning signs of workplace violence, use prevention and de-escalation strategies, and follow safety procedures. Workplace violence definition: any act or threat of physical violence, harassment, intimidation, disruptive behavior, or threatening conduct that occurs at the worksite or during work-related duties. Workplace violence may involve clients, visitors, family members, vendors, community members, staff, former staff, or individuals connected to a client or employee. Examples of workplace violence: threats to harm staff, clients, or visitors, physical assault, pushing, grabbing, hitting, kicking, biting, or spitting, throwing objects, stalking or harassment, domestic violence entering the workplace, weapon possession, intimidation or verbal aggression, threats by phone, text, email, social media, or in person, property destruction, client-on-client violence, visitor-on-staff violence, staff-on-staff violence, repeated hostile or threatening communication. Staff should be alert for warning signs such as clenched fists, pacing, yelling, threatening language, fixation on a grievance, refusal to respect boundaries, intoxication, extreme agitation, weapon references, blocking exits, invading personal space, sudden silence after agitation, or statements about revenge. Warning signs may include clenched fists, pacing, yelling or rapid escalation, threatening language, fixation on a grievance, refusal to respect boundaries, intoxication, extreme agitation, weapon references, blocking exits, invading personal space, sudden silence after agitation, history of violence or recent threats, domestic conflict spilling into services, statements about revenge or making someone pay, refusal to leave after being directed to do so. Prevention begins with respectful communication, professional boundaries, early intervention, and clear expectations. Staff should avoid power struggles and should not continue a session when safety is compromised. De-escalation strategies: use calm tone, simple language, respectful distance, reflective listening, choices when possible, clear limits, non-threatening posture, supervisor support, clinical support when appropriate, removal of audience, emergency response when needed. Avoid arguing, sarcasm, unnecessary threats, touching the person, blocking movement, taking behavior personally, ignoring threats, continuing a session when safety is compromised, standing too close, shaming or challenging the person in front of others. If there is immediate danger, staff must move away from the threat, alert others if safe, call 911, follow lockdown, evacuation, or shelter-in-place instructions as appropriate, notify PHSNC leadership as soon as it is safe, and document and report the incident.
Scenario-based competency review. The following scenarios are designed to help staff apply the training content. Pause after each scenario and consider what you would do. Scenario 1, unsafe facility condition. A staff member notices that the hallway exit is partially blocked by boxes, and a client using a walker is scheduled to attend group. What should staff do? Answer: identify this as an unsafe environmental factor. Clear the exit immediately if safe. Notify a supervisor, administrator, or designated PHSNC leadership contact. Document the issue according to PHSNC procedure. Do not use the area if the hazard cannot be corrected. For urgent administrative notification, contact CEO David Lyde, COO Brian Cook, or CFO Omar Long. Scenario 2, client escalation. During group, a client begins yelling, pacing, and threatening to make someone pay. What should staff do? Answer: identify potential workplace violence risk. Use calm verbal de-escalation, create space and remove other clients if needed. Notify the supervisor, administrator, and clinical contact as appropriate. Contact Clinical Director Amy Brown for clinical support. Notify CEO David Lyde, COO Brian Cook, or CFO Omar Long for urgent administrative awareness if needed. Call 911 if the threat becomes imminent or safety cannot be maintained. Complete incident documentation. Scenario 3, medical emergency. A client collapses in the lobby and appears unresponsive. What should staff do? Answer: call 911 first. Stay with the person if safe. Provide CPR or first aid only if trained. Keep others away. Notify leadership as soon as it is safe. Notify Clinical Director Amy Brown for clinical follow-up. Document facts objectively. Complete incident reporting as required. Scenario 4, community visit safety concern. A staff member arrives for a community-based session and hears yelling inside the home. A family member appears intoxicated and aggressive. What should staff do? Answer: do not enter an unsafe environment. Leave the area if safety is uncertain. Contact the supervisor, administrator, or designated PHSNC leadership contact. Call 911 if there is immediate danger. Reschedule or move services to a safer setting. Notify Clinical Director Amy Brown if client instability or treatment-related concerns are present. Document the safety concern. Scenario 5, critical incident reporting. A client reports that they were assaulted by another person after leaving services and now fear for their safety. What should staff do? Answer: ensure immediate safety. Assess whether emergency services or law enforcement are needed. Notify supervisor, administrator, clinical contact, or designated leadership. Contact CEO David Lyde first for urgent administrative notification. If the CEO is unavailable, contact COO Brian Cook or CFO Omar Long. Contact Clinical Director Amy Brown for clinical concerns. Follow mandated reporting requirements if abuse, neglect, exploitation, minor safety, or vulnerable adult concerns are involved. Document objectively. Determine whether formal incident reporting is required.
Final post-test review. To complete this training, staff should demonstrate competency through a final review or post-test. Staff should receive a passing score of 80% or higher and complete any required remediation if competency is not demonstrated. Final competency areas: health and safety practices, unsafe environmental factors, emergency procedures, evacuation procedures, critical incident identification, critical incident reporting, physical risk reduction, workplace violence prevention and response, PHSNC leadership contact procedures, calling 911 first during immediate emergencies. Staff should be able to identify CEO David Lyde as the primary administrative contact, COO Brian Cook and CFO Omar Long as secondary administrative contacts, and Clinical Director Amy Brown as the clinical contact. Primary administrative contact, CEO David Lyde, cell 704-450-215, office 704-960-4828, email davidlyde@phsnc.org. Secondary administrative contacts, COO Brian Cook, cell 704-294-0322, office 704-960-4280, email brian.cook@phsnc.org. CFO Omar Long, cell 908-447-0931, office 704-960-428, email omar.long@phsnc.org. Clinical contact, Clinical Director Amy Brown, cell 336-439-5117, office 704-960-420, email amy.brown@phsnc.org. Thank you for completing the PHSNC Competency-Based Training on Health and Safety Practices, Emergency Response, Critical Incidents, Risk Reduction, and Workplace Violence Prevention. Every staff member plays a role in maintaining a safe, respectful, trauma-informed, and accountable environment. Safety is not only a compliance requirement, it is part of how PHSNC serves individuals and families with dignity and consistency. By following these expectations, staff help protect clients, coworkers, visitors, and the organization while supporting PHSNC's mission of helping individuals and families move toward stability, recovery, independence, and a meaningful quality of life. At PHSNC, we remain committed to helping you live your dreams every day. Training complete. PHSNC, Fila Health Systems of NC, helping you live your dreams every day. In an immediate emergency, call 911 first, then notify PHSNC leadership as soon as it is safe. Immediate threat response. Move away from the threat. Alert others if safe. Call 911. Follow lockdown, evacuation, or shelter-in-place instructions. Notify PHSNC leadership when safe. Do not attempt to physically intervene unless required to prevent imminent harm and only within legal and policy limits. Document and report the incident.